Wadau, are you okay? Are you right? Are you doing fantastic? Iko sawa. Vida leo pia inahusu wanaume sana. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about raising a child that does not belong to you biologically? Or are you raising a child that is not biologically yours? And how is the experience going? Is it fun? How do you feel about that? And how did you realize that the child is not yours? Kwa sababu, recently, this topic has been going viral, especially on TikTok. Men coming out and narrating their experiences when they discover that they are raising illegitimate children and encouraging other men to go and seek DNA tests just to ensure that they are raising legitimate kids. That is why today we have Mwafrika from Nini podcast atusaidie kufacilitate hii conversation, because at the end of this episode I want to make things very clear why men find it very difficult to raise children that do not belong to them biologically, especially if they never knew. Because I believe for men it is easier for them to raise children that do not biologically belong to them if you tell them from the beginning. Okay? Lakini, if you lie to them, it's going to be a different conversation. Wadau, without further ado, let's get after it.
And talking of women rights, because the fact that pia we ni comedian, lazima nikuulize hii swali. Kuna kwa comedian wa States anaitwa Chris Rock, yes? So Chris had this joke where he says that women lies versus men lies are very different. Because a man's lie is I'm at work. A woman's lie is this is your child. Yes. So, well, do you agree with him on that?
I don't
women lies are much bigger than ours.
It's just political stuff. I would not say I do not agree with that.
Yeah.
I just said, I can only just say that women, okay, when I personally, like many women I know and people, don't like lying,
Yes.
But when women lie most of the time, it's because, and if those big lies, they want to save a situation.
Yes.
A situation that if it is not checked can really make things worse. You understand? But men can lie even when it is not necessary.
Yes, but ini lie ndogo, ini lie ile haita affect kitu yote.
And then also men do also those big lies because it's not I think yes. It's not a gender thing when it comes to lying.
We're just talking about the intensity of the lie.
Yes, but
if I say I'm at work, if I say I'm at work, it's not life changing. If you say this is my child,
and it's not,
yes, and I find out who's mtoi wangu, that's shattering. That's
true.
Yes,
yeah, but at the same time, I am saying this, but it's not an issue of gender. It's more an issue of the magnitude of the lie and the consequences of that lie.
Exactly. That is exactly what Mwaf was implying. The consequences of the lies that women make are dire than the consequences of the lies that men make. That is exactly what they are talking about. It's about consequences hapa hivi. Consequences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, kuzuliza na kuuliza ni I saw this video kwa social media and I don't want your 2 cents on it. Alafu we come back to art.
Heri kulea mtoto wa single mother mwenye unajua tu like huyu mtoto si wako, umependa udem na umempenda na mtoto wake, kuliko kulea mtoto ukifikiria ni wako alafu kufanya DNA unapata si wako. That thing pains a lot. And it's simply because men maybe do not have the money to do the DNA test. Ama maybe they have not discovered to do the DNA test. But if the men decide to do a DNA test, kuna watu wengi watakosa child support, watakosa hizo privilege wanapata simply because they are this called baby mamas or they are married to some of the men and those kids don't belong to them.
On TikTok it has been a big thing. Actually, men are coming up with ways to support other men to do DNA tests, especially when it comes to, establishing facilities ambazo wanaume wanazaenda wafanye DNA test at a cheaper price. I think it is something that has been tormenting most men. It is something that has affected a lot of men. Because you have to understand, men, we are more than okay to raise a child that I know for a fact does not belong to me. If a single mother comes into my life with a child and I agree to raise the child, I know exactly what I am getting myself into. So there is that openness. There is that trustworthiness because you told me the whole truth. But if I trust you, you're my wife and everything, and then umeenda huko inze, you did your stuff, you did your bullshit, and then unaniletea mtoi I don't even know, then 15 years later, ama 20 years later, ama 30 years later, I discover that the child is not mine biologically. I've been raising a bastard my entire life. Like, what the fuck is that? So it is the deception. It is not even about men having a heart that is not warm and loving and kind and caring. No, it is about the deception. You fooled me, you made a fool out of me, and you humiliated me. Now that is the problem.
Mesikia?
It's very funny umeleta hiyo topic juu leo nimechukua Uber na jamaa Uber alikuwa ananiambia the same thing. Nani ameniambia iko 45. Ananiambia mimi hata babu yangu aliniambia nisiwahi chukua DNA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of men know. Yeah, a lot of men know that, especially not, let's say, not men of this age, but men of 40s and up, know that there can be a possibility that that child is not yours. Now, these men of today, let's say the Gen Zs or the millennials, you know, it's always, sometimes I think people are always like, you know, hey, I need to know the truth and all this kind of stuff. So they have those opportunities now to do the DNAs. And maybe, yes, if they do the DNAs, they may find that the child is not theirs. Iyo kuna ukweli iko hapo. But kusema heri ule mtoto wa
single mother, mtoto unajua si wako.
Mtoto unajua si wako. Kumbuka, ukipenda mtoto umependa mtoto. So the issue is not the child. The issue is...
But we have to consider the basis of my love. Yeah, most people tend to think that love is unconditional when it comes to family, but most of the time it is not. Especially after trust has been broken, that love is not unconditional anymore. I can't just jump in front of a bullet knowing that you're a damn bastard. I can't do that. I cannot get in harm's way to protect a child that is not mine biologically. Like, bro, like, yeah.
The lady.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, ndo alikwambia huu ni mtoi wako. Na ukaanza kumpenda tangu azaliwe. Sasa kwa sababu leo amekwambia huu mtoto si wako na umemsomesha paka amefika form 2, utajamna mtoi.
Unajua, most people have to understand that every single time I look at the child, it reminds me of humiliation. Every single time I look at the child, it reminds me of how fooled I was. Every single time I look at the child, like the child is a product of deception. The child is a product of deception. So, huyu mtoi ananikumbusha of the miserable life I've been living in. And every single time I look at the child, knowing, and I remember and I recall all the things that I have had to go through just to raise this lie, I grow resentment. So the child and the mother are one thing.
Hapana?
Usikie watu wengi hata jamna mtoi. Because I think the premise ya your love ni, I'm assuming this is my blood. And as soon as I know this is not mine, that love can actually reduce drastically.
Hapana.
Yes, that is true, because mtoi anakukumbusha broken love, a broken life. Saizi uko kwa stress, uko na depression maybe, bro, like uko na pressure, vitu kama hizo, like mtoi, that the mtoi and the mother have basically ruined your entire life. I know it is not the child's Nini, it is not the child's fault. Lakini, like you can't help it. You can't help it. And once you start hating something, we all know that hate is such a strong feeling. hate is stronger than love. So haijalishi how much you love the child, once you start hating the child, it is over. It is over. Hate prevails over love all the time.
Yes.
I
It can.
For fathers maybe, but for no, it
Yes,
won't.
for fathers.
At mothers, no. Of course, this is a father issue. No, I say no. Why do I say no? Kuna wababa wengi ukuja wana find out huu si mtoto wangu, but because of maybe 2-3 things, once they've invested their whole future in that.
Yes.
Secondly, huyo mtoto amependa huyo mtu kabisa na anasema you are my father. It's like adoption. So hizo vitu mbili. Alafu thirdly, pia wewe umependa huyo mtoto. Sasa utakasirikiaje kiumbe yenye haikuuliza kuja kwa dunia? Imejipata. Sasa this shouldn't be an issue of mtoto, should be an issue of uzazi.
Easier said by a woman. Because kwetu, I think unajua a woman connection yako na mtoini. The kid is part of you.
Yes.
Ame come from body yako.
Yeah.
So there's that connection. With Sisi, its connection is from the outside.
Yeah.
So ni the belief that this is my child.
Yeah.
That belief. So that belief can turn into love, and this love becomes unexplainable.
Yeah.
Because now najua. So years later, when that dad finds out that, damn, this has all been a lie, they stop looking at that kid the same way. They look at that kid as the biggest lie that they've ever been involved in. So inaweza cause, kwa wengine inaweza cause like instant, even
hate.
Yes, not hate, but instant
Distance.
whatever. Yes, with the kid.
I think if a man does that, it's childish.
Nah, it's not childish. It's not childish. Bro, umekuwa hurt. Your feelings have been hurt. Trust has been broken. It's like your reality has been shattered. Everything you knew about life, everything you knew about yourself, imekuwa all of a sudden upside down. So I can't say that Atiyo ni childish. No, it's not childish, because if you trust someone with your feelings, you trust someone with your heart, you trust someone with your property, you trust someone with your future, just to find out that these people never had your best interest at heart, just to find out that these people never respected you, just to find out that these people don't really care how you feel and stuff, bro. Apana maze. Like, those are the kind of things that make people go crazy. All of a sudden, mse unampata kwa barabara na wakota makaratasi. Kwa nini? Because he can't believe it. He has been living a lie his entire life. Unajua ikifika place sasa, a man decides to settle down and have a family, he's counting on that family to be an extension of him. So wewe umeleta familia ya mtu mwingine, and then bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? You are evil. You are evil. That is just maliciousness of lie, bro. No.
And he just doesn't have enough, heart of love in his heart, you know. Ana moyo ya love. Because the truth of the matter, umelea mtoto. Ndio, one thing, you'll be bitter. You'll be very bitter. Na, especially in the African culture where damu lazima, unajua, is about inheritance.
Yes.
It's about ni damu yangu. Definitely you will be affected. Definitely utaanza kuona, sasa tunaanza kui macho yake hii. Na hizo vitu zinaweza kuthrow off, zinaweza kukasirisha. Lakini kama mtoto anakuita baba, mtoto labda yuko college ama yuko high school, anaona this is my life. Imagine how you devastating it will be for the child. Wewe uko na at least 50 years, mtu wako na 10.
First of all, for men, it is not about raising a child that does not belong to them biologically. It is about the mental state of that man after I may discover the child is clearly not his. Hapo ndo kuna ngori mzee. So it is about your mental state, unajua, this affects the reality out here. Your reality in here affects the reality out here. So it does not matter mtoi anakuita aje, it does not matter how the child regards you, it does not matter mtoi anakuperceive aje, but if this is messed up as a man, it does not matter how many times that child calls you dad. Aiezi matter. And you also have to remember that you can't blame the man for ruining or for interfering with the child's life, kwa sababu the mother is at fault. Unajua ingekuwa better kama huyu dame ile day alijua kwamba I have conceived and this baby does not belong to this man, angekam tu kwangu aniambie, oi bro, babe, makosa imefanyika mahali, nimefanya mambo yangu huko nje, now I have a baby coming. Hiyo ingekuwa easy kwa sababu hiyo time tu ningekufukuza, alafu mwanze maisha yenu mapema, mjue venye mtafigure out hii situation. Lakini you've been lying to me all this time. I have discovered. Saizi you're facing the consequences of your lies, alafu you blame me for ruining the child's life. That is narcissistic. Hiyo ni upuzi. Acha kuni manipulate. Hiyo ni blackmail ya upuzi maze.
How devastating will it be? Unaelewa? Itakufanya yani itafanya huyo mtoto sasa kabisa akwe sasa akona trauma na akona issues. Yeah.
But pia I think on the side ya madam ni just don't say I'm the dad. Don't lie to me.
Easy bra. You can just say that. Nikufukuze, you go figure out your situation mapema. Sasa angalia venye unaharibia mtoto maisha. Angalia.
To me? Yeah, we serve ourselves. Yes.
Kusikiliza. Kuna actually one of my old aunties alikuja kaniambia, unajua saa zingine when life happens those days kulikuwa na wanaume walikuwa hawezi
nini mtoi kupata
fertilize mtoi ama
yes.
Those days two things used to happen and it even happens now. The woman and the man will have a conversation, husband and wife. Wakiwa na conversation, husband anaweza kwenda kumwambia rafiki yake, unisaidie hapa. Naelewa? Na hata and it is even hata mimi nasema low kuna more our cultures, our ethnic groups, they had a way of dealing with that.
Yes.
Unaona sasa mzee anakubali mtoto mama anapata mtoto na mtu mwingine, lakini hata huyo mtu anajua huyu mama akiza huyu si mtoto wangu. Na baba anajua hii responsibility itakuwa yangu.
Yes.
Na mambo inaendelea poa. Ama mama anajua huyu bwana ndio hawezi kuzaa, lakini bwana akona ego kubwa hata hataki kusema hivyo, ama hata yeye ajui. In those times we didn't have science. Okay? So the woman takes it up to herself, anasema because maybe sometimes there'll be a lot of pressure in the family, let me go and get a child. Na nikipata mtoto, mtoto sitasema ni wa mtu fulani, ataka labda alikuwa na mtu on the side.
Yes.
Atasema ni mtoto wako. Sometimes it's to save the family, it's to save the marriage. And then of course these days kuna hizi mambo za trapping. Hata zilikuwa kitambo pia. Msichana tu anapata mtoi. Na hiyo that's different anyway. Kwa sababu unapata mtoi alafu unasema mtoi ni wako.
Yeah.
Because you just want to trap the man.
Yes.
That's another situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, kuzime ni rewind story ya Kaparo, Ole Kaparo.
Yeah.
Sio kama ulicheki story, but I remember Francis Ole Kaparo, the former speaker.
Yes.
Do you know him? He went to court to fight his wife's bid for a DNA test. So kuna time ile, I think when things got ugly between him and his wife,
Yeah.
the wife was like, these kids are not even yours.
Yeah.
And he was like, hell no, I'm not doing a DNA test. I've raised them as my kids.
Yes.
And I don't want to know anything else.
I don't want to know. Yeah.
But here,
Yeah, okay, maybe unaweza fanya hivyo for other men. Yeah, like you just don't want to deal with the truth kwamba watoi si wako, and do the necessary thing of showing the world that you are a no nonsense person. But ikifika kwa hiyo situation whereby a man cannot fertilize an ovum and make a woman conceive and therefore have a baby, kitambo it's okay kama walikuwa nafanya hiyo mambo, then a woman goes and looks for a man and then they do the thing. But saizi things have changed. Saizi we can go to a hospital, we get tested, after test we can do it with dignity, ethically. kwa hospitali. We can do, lakini mimi I cannot imagine ati umejua mimi maybe I have the problem, then you went out there, you smashed with another man. You smashed with another man and na sasa unaniletea mtoi. Bro, that is cheating. And when it comes to cheating, consequences lazima usafa kwa sababu cheating is a choice. Kama umekaa na huyo mse for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months ama a year, alafu unaniletea huyo mtoi, that is basically cheating. Na hiyo siwezi kubali. I cannot accept that.
Na kuonyesha pia pile mademu kijamu na kuagana za ovyo, because you see Ole Kaparo is that's someone who's wealthy. Why would you want your kids to suffer just so that you can win an argument or win a fight? Like, what if he was the sort of person who would be like, out of all these kids, a few are my kids. The ones who are my kids, they'll be sorted. The ones I find out are not my kids can go to hell.
Again, si issue ya madem, ni issue ya personality ya mtu, ni uchungu. Mtu amekuwa uchungu, labda uenda akapata umecheat ama umefanya business ujaminvolve. Whatever happens in marriages or relationships, there are many things that can bring that, can break that tie. Sana sema sasa nataka kukuonyesha hata hii watoto si wako, because anajua that's the part that will hit the man the most. Hiyo ni kama umempiga below the belt, itamuumiza zaidi. So he just said, watu wanasema gaje, better not knowing is better.
Yes.
Yeah. Nakamua sasa hata tu nisijue.
Because ignorance is bliss.
Yes, there you go. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah.
Okay.
If I am raising a bastard without my knowledge, it's okay. But the moment I discover that the kid I'm raising is actually a bastard, they have to go. Namade yao, they just have to go. Yeah? And madem inafaa understand kwamba it is impossible for men to lie to them in that way, in such a big way. Kwa sababu ukiangalia, we imagine this situation now. It is only a woman who can make you raise a child that is not yours biologically without you knowing. But a man cannot do that. Because mwanaume hata aende ya cheat huko hivyo nje, they have a baby with another woman, definitely utajua huyu mtoi sio wangu. So from the very beginning, huyo mwanaume akitaka kuintroduce huyo mtoto kwa hii familia yenyu, the man has to talk to you and tell you, hey babe, nilienda huko nje, makosa ikafanyika, mtoto akapatikana. So what do you say? Do I bring the child into our family ama inakuwa aje? Umeona, kuna kuwa na transparency from the word go. Kuna kuwa na hiyo openness, and that is very important. Lakini dem, imagine the dem anaweza cheat huko nje, afanye mambo yake, akuja akudanganye, uraise mtoi mwenye sio wako for the. So unaona, that is why Chris Rock was right. Women have bigger lies compared to men. Wanawake, they just have to learn to say the truth and live with the consequences, because the moment umeamua kwamba you're going to cheat on a man, you have to be ready to live with the consequences of living without that man. It is that simple. So in short, to summarize this video, madam, stop lying to men. Stop lying to men. You'd rather tell me the truth from the very day, from the beginning, kwa sababu it is not the child. The child is not the problem. It is your intentions. It is my perception of you. It is how I used to perceive things and my reality. So it is the consequences of the lie. The lie shatters the reality of a man's life. It is easier for a man to raise a child that is not his, adopted, maybe single mother, kwa sababu from the very beginning niliona and I knew exactly what I am getting myself into. Lakini the moment hii mambo ya mtoi, unaleta mtoi mwenye I don't even know who mtoi baba yake ni nani, it's gonna be a problem. And bro, it's gonna be a problem. So madam, you have to understand. You have to understand men. You have to understand that shit humiliates men. You have to understand that men's feelings get hurt. And personally, I know. Yeah. I know I look like a person who can raise a child that is not biologically mine, but that will only happen if you tell me from the very beginning. But the moment discover I'm raising a child that is not biologically mine, motherfucker, I am chasing you out. Hapo na hapo. So wadau, it has been fun discussing this topic. Adios maze.